Everyone, Joshua here, welcome back to a new Crash Bandicoot review video. And today we're back on my all Crash Bandicoot games review series. So if you didn't see the last review, definitely go and check it out. And this review, we are reviewing the sequel, and I think kind of a really great sequel of a previous game, Crash of the Titans, Crash the sequel, Crash Minor for Mutant, which I prefer way better than, if I had to choose a favorite, then I would have to choose this game right here. And this was the last game, new game, that we last gotten. Back in 2008. This was the last new Crash game we've gotten into the franchise before the remakes, you guys. Believe it or not. So, it is crazy, you guys. It is crazy. Back in 2008 was the last time, the last new Crash game that we have gotten as of right now. Back since then, which is insane. So, without further ado, let's get into it, shall we? So, we start off with, basically, Cortex, basically taking place where Crash of the Titans left off. And Cortex drops off Nina at, basically, the evil public school. And then goes to an old friend, Dr. Nitrous Brio, and they team up once again, and Brio shows him what he's been working on. It is kind of a mind device called the NV, basically. So, they need to test it, or Brio wants to show him. So, they try to do it on a poor bunny. They do it on a poor bunny. Once it puts it on, it turns into a diabolical mutant, which is nuts. And then it just squishes Brio like that. So, Dr. Cortex thinks one is not going to be enough. So, he cranks it up way more. He just makes even more, and they spread across the world. So basically, Coco wants you to go and get some parts. The parts to fix the NV, or not the NV, I don't know why I said that, the, Dominator Eye, because they want to make it so you can watch movies, play game, and dispense water. Okay. I mean, recycling butter, and now doing that. But, like I said, you have to go, basically a tutorial. When you go and get the parts, it's a tutorial showing you what to do. And there are new features in Mind Over Mutant that was not in Crash of the Titans. So, like I said, y'all go and Coco gives you a list to go and retrieve the parts for her. And once we get back, we see this absolutely hilarious cutscene, you guys. I absolutely love it. Disguised kind of Cortex showing on TV a new device called the NV that you can talk to friends, watch TV, and eat french fries, which he puts in his ears. Then, of course, it's wax french fries. And basically, he just tells you that is everything. It does everything. And like I mentioned, this is my #1 pick of the best evil plans that Dr. Cortex has ever done by far. You guys, I just have to say, on my top 5 list I done, which, it is very evil, and he does succeed with it very well. But yeah, he basically says that, why have the TV, like actual TVs, well, if you can watch TVs with this, watch television with this, which is absolutely but Lex Line definitely steals the part as Cortex in this game, definitely, right, I can just tell you. And he also says that this new product will be free to everyone to Wumpa Island. Yes, it'll be completely free. Which is absolutely crazy for this kind of technology kind of, new device. And then this kind of thing with basically growing a beard faster, which No thing. And then we see Cortex laying on the beach with his underwear on, or just in his underwear. Well, I hope he has his underwear on, but basically on the beach with his dolphin toe. And then after you get the mail, Coco and Cortex put on the NVs, but it just keeps electrocuting Cross every time he tries to put it on, and basically it won't fit for Aquaku. It does not fit on Aquaku, which it kind of makes sense. Which I don't know why it would. Anyway, Engine pops up. Yes, Engine pops up. Yes, Engine comes back from from Titans with some best lines in the game, and he tells his henchmen to kill the bandicoots. So they have to go and fight these henchmen, but Crunch and Coco are too busy messing with the mind control devices, basically. So we eventually make it to Engine. Once you make it into Engine, once again, it's just hilarious of how Engine in this game is absolutely good. I love it so much. I mean, Engine is so hilarious in both Titans and Mind Over Mutant. He has some real hilarious lines. And he tells them that when Cortex escaped, he left him there, and he said that he would eat. He was watching them. He's been watching the bandicoots, and most importantly, he says Coco, and he wants to eat her, but anyway. Yeah, he's been watching them to collect information, and he's saying if Cortex is triumphant, he'll be rewarded. And then he just goes really insane, like, you know, how Engine is, how going insane. And then Aquaku tells him that he's totally nuts and tells Crash to punch him in the throat, basically. Yeah, that's great. So, he told him that he needs it for swallowing, and then he hawks out, I guess, a kind of crumbled up piece of paper. Okay, I don't know why he would eat that. After we fight some of his henchmen, we tell him to stop spying on us, but he said to leave him alone, and he's too pretty to be throat punched. And then he told us that, well, I'll just let y'all listen.
Get off our island. I'm sorry, I'm not here to take your message right now. Please leave a message after the beep. Beep! I'm going. It was worth it.
And then we see Coco and Crunch from the spyglass, saying how they're doing with the NVs.
Increditasticula! I'm getting up to the minute weather reports. It's hot.
And I'm attending a symposium on the effect of hungry hippos on children.
Are they supposed to be doing that?
Probably a feature. Don't worry about it.
I feel funny. Funny neither. Fold your laundry.
Yes. They basically turned into mindless mutants. Yes. The NVs, well, just to think about it. They did have a lot of time to actually have fun with it before they turn them evil. And once you defeat Coco, which is the first boss, she is freed from the mind control. And she is no longer a mutant, which that is absolutely fantastic. After she's been fighting you with basketballs. Yeah, she was shooting you with basketballs, and you had to freeze her and attack her. And Coco said, of course, that the best gizmo in ages is, of course, was evil, but Crunch is still under the control. And they need to find out where he's going. So Coco hacks into the Dominator's eye, and they pick up a message in Cortex's blog. Yeah, Cortex has a blog, you guys. If you did not know that, Cortex has a blog. He has a blog. And then in that blog, we see a video.
There was a piece of lettuce in the urinal. Who eats a sandwich while going to the bathroom? Seriously.
And basically, he's just telling us about... Cortex tells his henchmen more about his latest, device, and he says that he made up with an old colleague, Dr. Nitrous Brio, which and Brio says, my name sounds like fetus, with basically the kind of science kind of divide thing. And then this is where Uka Uka first finds out that Embryo was the original inventor of the Evolvo Ray, which is really cool. And he turns into a giant mutant and tells him that he was in the first game, and of course it was him that invented it. That Cortex says that he invented. And then Uka Uka says that they are happy that they are back to perform some old school evil. And then Cortex does show some old school evil in mind, and that is the NV. Yes, with a familiar Titan. And that is the kind of slimy sludge kind of mutant. Which, now they're called mutants and not Titans. So, Cortex basically shows them how his device is going to work. Once he taps on the press of a button, the NVs turn on and they basically mind control them. And he uses the sludge kind of mutant to basically trap Uka Uka. And Cortex told Uka Uka that he used to run the operations, and now it is time that he does it again. And Embryo really still one of the things I really love about this game is Embryo, you guys. Is Embryo in this game. He has some very funny lines in this. Lex Lane, the cutscenes, the story, and Embryo is absolutely fantastic. I absolutely love it. So basically, Cortex tells Uka Uka that he needs a source of bad mojo to fill the NV. To fill it up, and he said that Uka Uka is it. And then Cortex tells Embryo that he needs to keep the bandicoots busy and use the secret plan. Which of course Embryo, we all know Embryo's that he says that he invented, and basically said it's not invented yet, and he tells Cortex, but how are we gonna get it onto the mutants' heads? And they say, they're gonna give it to them, so they can actually put it on. And basically, after you go to the rat village, and go to the desert and get a rhino roller, another familiar Titan and stuff, you get to the Academy of Evil. Yes. You do meet some familiar faces as well, and there is a lot of backtracking in this game as well. There is a lot of backtracking in this game, and this is where we see, of course, Nina just not being treated kind of like her uncle when she was little, kind of cough on his origin, right, of when Cortex was little. So we go into this weird kind of also cool animation right here, cutscene, and we finally locate Nina. Yes, we finally locate Nina, which I just love the animations, the looks of these cutscenes. And then Nina just slaps Crashing Aku Aku in the face. Like that. And Aku Aku tells her how's it been going. And really, Aku Aku? You tell her how's it going when you know that she's not having a great time in Evil Public School, and she was having a much better time in Madame Emblay's Academy of Evil, but of course, well, she got kicked out, I guess, and so they need her help. Aku Aku basically tells her that her uncle has invented some kind of new evil kind of device that can control mutants, and he's got Crunch, so they gotta help him. And Nina tells him to don't get hit by the door, and just tells him to leave. And Aku Aku said that they would do anything. And Nina basically goes with the
Kiss. What? Yeah. Kiss. Right now. It will amuse me. science fair project to finish, and you two lovebirds can help me out.
Yes, Nina tells Aku Aku and Crash to kiss, but that's not the real request. She really tells them to protect her science project, and then after we do that, she tells us where the location of Embryo and Dr. Cortex are. And then we are blessed with another Embryo cutscene. We are thankfully blessed by another Embryo cutscene.
Which I invented. You see before you a glorious history of evil devices that me, invented. Over time, the disgusting heroes of this world, which I invented, me, not Cortex, read your Bible, I wrote it. Heroes like lazy bandicoots just leave these wonderful toys to rot where they fall. But Dr. Cortex, who says he invented many things, liar, says, hurry, build me a space head and many envy devices. So, I have invented recycling. Remember the Embryo patented phrase, reuse, recycle, revenge! I created Slinkies. Stop playing with them because they're mine! You see before you an ocean of wrecked dreams, my dreams. From this ocean, Dr. Cortex has asked me to harpoon the white whale of evil. Recycling shall destroy the world, and I, as its inventor, shall get the credit. Look, light bright. I didn't invent this, but Maya did. It's not evil. Why is it in the pile?
Yes, that's right, you little fools. Evil recycling gives me everything I need to build and distribute envies. Look, there's got to be a better picture of me. Enter my recycling program, Crash. The recycling program of doom. Oh, that's good. I look butch.
So, once we make it through Engine's, basically, junkyard, or what it was, hit the place layer of Engine and Titans, but destroyed, and Embryo, of course, uses the stuff he calls recycling to build kind of a junkyard kind of place, and we eventually find Crunch, and we got to fight him. So once we absolutely destroy Crunch and basically defeat Embryo, Crunch is now freed from the mind control. And he is free from the envy. But Crash just starts beating him up like he's still evil, but he isn't. And then Embryo is just having a pain just watching it getting beat. And then...
Well, you were wrong and I was right. As right as Betamax.
And he tells them that they got limited bad mojo to power the envies, and they're wondering how they're getting that, but of course he refuses. So, Crash, I don't know how Crunch doesn't get killed, but Crash blows up Crunch. How is Crunch not dead right now? And then, of course, Embryo says that Cortex and him are in charge now, and their island is in a device that, of course, he invented. So, they tell Crunch to go home, and they go and search. They have to go and search Aku Aku's brother, Uka Uka. So, Embryo, of course, says that this isn't the end, and he invented endings. And why do people not take him seriously? Yeah, I just love Embryo just because of how he always says that he invented everything and stuff. It's just so funny. Then he leaves Wampa Island. And then we eventually make it to Mount Grinley, which we see we are blessed with another amazing looking cutscene. This time with Dr. Cortex and some Grinleys. And them feeding Uka Uka cake. Yeah.
Thanks for asking. I feel good. All this evil agrees with me. How's our little mojo battery doing?
Cortex, you miserable traitor! I will have my revenge!
Yeah, well, I just love how we keep getting blessed with these amazing cutscenes. That's what I love about Mind Over Mutant. Whenever I see a cutscene, it's basically a blessing to see these cutscenes. And basically, Uka Uka tells him why is he feeding him cake, or they're feeding him cake, but Cortex tells him that he just thought it would be mean. Really? So, Cortex goes and alerts the Gremlins that Crash Bandicoot is on his way, and they don't need to do any traps, death traps, or anything. No, it takes so long. Yeah, which is kind of funny. And basically, the cake, when it lands on the ground, it has hair on it, which is kind of disgusting. And then Dr. Cortex feeds Uka Uka cake. Yeah. Which they're basically draining the power of Uka Uka out of him. Now, I don't know what you could call this cutscene, or the look at this cutscene.
Finally. Oh, if I had nipples, they'd kill right now. My brother. What did they do to you? That treacherous dog Cortex stole my power. All my bad mojo has been drained and put into envies that he sent all over the world. All over the world? That little weasel of a scientist actually had a good idea for a change. However, I didn't realize it involved milking you. Yes, milking me. Ha ha. Everybody enjoys a laugh at the evil mask. I will destroy Cortex for this, and you two short bus students will be the means of my vengeance.
So, Aku Aku tells him that, why would they help Uka Uka? Because Uka Uka said their mom sucks. Even though their mom, Uka Uka and Aku Aku's mom, is a mask too. And he's told him that if they help him find his voodoo bones, that he will grant them passes to Dr. Cortex's lair and destroy the envies forever. And he told him that he will use his power to get around, help him get around quickly.
Around quickly. You dummies probably walked everywhere. And please, would you clean this cake off my face?
And then we finally make it to Cortex. Yes, we finally make it to Cortex. The look at these cutscenes, the final cutscenes is absolutely stunning. Whoever came up with these cutscenes should get a raise, right? Should get promoted, really. So, Aku Aku tells him that he has nothing left, and it's just him versus Crash. And then Cortex just basically says that, he wants to settle this man to mutant, so he tells him that he's gonna beat Crash with his bare hands. Then he rips his shirt apart, tears his shirt off, and then just does some weird thing. I don't know what you could call that. Which is absolutely hilarious. And then Cortex tells him to stop laughing at him because he's serious. And he's gonna slap some bandicoot. Which he does this kind of weird I really don't know what you could call this, really, you know. And then Cortex tells them that he forgot to mention that he was going to cheat. Yes, not a surprise. He's got some of Embryo's mutation formula to even the odds. And he starts to drink it. Yes. And he starts to turn into a mutant. That's right, he turns into a mutant. Which is absolutely crazy. And one of the most hilarious things of this cutscene has to be the for no reason mime that just shows for no reason, and it's not even part of the thing that's going on. So basically, you have to beat Cortex, and you get to hijack him. Yes. Once you beat Cortex, you get to hijack Cortex, and use Cortex to defeat all the mutants. How incredible is that? It's absolutely fantastic. And then you gotta slam into a button that you would get. And then after that, Cortex has been defeated, which he kind of basically won, really, because of his plan so successfully. He almost got away with it. And then it's kind of like a cross, I guess, Raffle Cortex and some, not too sure. This game in Cross Bandicoot the Raffle Cortex, basically where the villain basically fails and he starts to malfunction and destroy the space station. And Cortex managed to break something and he turns not to a mutant anymore, which caused the space shuttle to fall down. And guess what? We see the guy who left the piece of lattice in the urinal. Yeah. And then, this is the last time we see Cortex, as of right now, in a new game, basically. He escaped, Dr. Cortex escapes in a space shuttle, we don't know where he goes, and we crash into Wumpa Island. We don't know where Dr. Cortex went, but we know, in a new game, he's gonna have an evil, very evil plan. Probably eviler than this one, than the Mind of a Mutant plan. But they managed to beat him and stop his envies. And that is the game, you guys. And that is Crash Mind Over Mutant. The last new game. The last new Crash game that we last gotten. Like I said, back in 2008 was the last new Crash game that we gotten. The last time we gotten a new Crash game. Which, it's time to have a new Crash game, isn't it? It's time for us to have a new Crash game. Because it's been since 2008 since we last had a new game. With Mind Over Mutant. And like I mentioned with Titans. That's not the end of the game. You can get upgrades for Crash, each mutant, every mutant, and do kind of battle challenges. And get voodoo dolls. More voodoo dolls as well. That unlock concept art. And you can get costumes and much more to 100% the game. So yeah, that is going to wrap it up for this video. If you enjoyed, hit the like button, subscribe, and ring the bell for videos and channel. Tell down below into this video. And guys, let me know what y'all think about this review of basically the last time we gotten a complete new Crash game. Which was, of course, like I said, Mind Over Mutant was the last time we gotten a new game. Which, like I said, also, it's time for us to get a new game. It's about time we get a new game. Since Mind Over Mutant was the last new game that we gotten. And, hopefully, that the Crash game being revealed, hopefully this month is indeed a new game. I really do hope so, because it's about time we get a completely new Crash game, don't we, in the franchise. Maybe that takes place after Warp or Crash Mind Over Mutant. We see where Dr. Cortex, it takes place after Mind Over Mutant, which I would love to see that. So thank you guys for watching. I'll see you next video. Bye!